What is going on to all the Pittsburgh Panther fans around the world? Big thumbs up to all the college football nation. Should have said that differently. What is going on to all the college football fans around the world? And big thumbs up to the Pitt Panther Nation. I am TALK-IS-PITT. You guys are tuning in to the #1 sports channel on YouTube that will eat, breathe, and shit everything Pitt. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, I would have my camera off during this live stream, not because I'm embarrassed of where I film my videos. I mean, come on, guys. I'm filming videos in my basement and I'm putting it out there on YouTube. I really don't care. A lot of people have DM'd me on Twitter, and a few of my subscribers, they have my actual phone number. So they've asked me all the time, like, why not film your videos somewhere else? Well, the thing is, it's gotten a lot of views, believe it or not. Whether people are making fun of me or not, to me, a view is a view. That's the way I feel. You can say what you want about me, about what I've said in the past, or how I act in the present. It's not going to matter to me. Oh, man. But let me drop the link here just in case anybody does want to join the panel. Yo, Gamecock Chuck. What is up, Gamecock Chuck? How is everything going on with you? Hopefully all is well within your life, both physically and mentally. And go Gamecocks, I guess. It's the only time you'll ever hear me say that. The only thing I don't like about filming videos in my basement is our sewage pipes run through here. So every time somebody in my bathroom flushes the toilet, or the bathroom upstairs in the apartment upstairs, you can hear it come down to the pipes. Now, people are like, well, what about the smell? That actually is never a problem because of that cat. That cat's shit is more toxic than what comes out of my booty hole. Ain't that right, kitty? All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it about another 2 to 4 minutes before I get the show started. For now, I'm just going to pretty much bullshit. Damn, I have my... Sorry about that. All right. So if you're wondering what this is right here, it's a terrible towel, if you want to call it that, that says "We Not Me," and as always, hail to Pitt. Yeah, as always, hail to Pitt. That's our slogan. Hail to Pitt. You got, to be honest, I'm not really versed well in college football tradition. What up, AIP? Welcome to the stream. I have only been a Pitt Panther fan since around 2006, 2007. The backstory of me becoming a Panther fan, and you can take this however you want. I was in juvie because I was a bad little boy. I'm not telling anybody why because it's not your business. But when I was in juvie, I met Pete Gonzalez, and I told him I'm being discharged in 3 weeks. Now, 3 weeks was the date I got discharged was the date of the first Pitt home game in 2007, actually. No, 2006. So 2006, I meet Pete Gonzalez because he's a motivational speaker. And for those who don't know, Pete Gonzalez is a former quarterback for the Pittsburgh Panthers. He paid for my season tickets. Became a Pitt fan ever since then. Did not like college football, didn't understand it, and I've watched God knows how many college football games before. So back then, because of how many teams there were, how many conferences, D1, D1 AA, which is FCS, all that shit was confusing to me. So he paid for my tickets, and ever since then, I've been a Pitt Panther fan. See? Right, Kitty? Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, AIP says, as an Oklahoma State fan, we have a tough game against BYU, and unfortunately, I don't see us winning that game unless something drastically changes. Yeah, AIP, Gordon, your running back, just, for whatever reason, just cannot seem to get it right. But I also said this last year. Ollie Gordon, to me, was your whole offense. Now, I'm not saying you guys didn't have playmakers because let's just face it, he can't do it all on his own. But that's what he was doing last year. And then after his arrest, he just seemed to never been able to find his footing. And that sucks as a college football fan. But especially if you're an Oklahoma State fan, like, I mean, now what do we do? Right, Kitty? See? Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about last week's games, the games that have already been played and are currently being played, plus the games happening tomorrow. Hey, CJ, welcome, welcome, welcome. I wonder if there's a way I can make him a moderator. No, not through this app. I have to do it via my other cell phone. I will be right back. Because I realized I have no moderators on this channel. Except Golden Blue Dude, but he passed away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for that. We got AIP and CJ up in the chat. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, last week, a lot of teams were on a bye week. And there really wasn't that many games to go through, as far as a preview and prediction type of thing. So with that being said, we're going to start off with Clemson and Wake Forest. This game went exactly how I thought it would. Clemson beating Wake Forest 49-14. I didn't see any of the game. I didn't even watch the highlights because I thought a 49-14 whooping didn't really warrant me sitting there trying to watch that game or watch the highlights. Clemson covered. I actually thought Clemson would cover the spread by itself completely, but they did score most of the spread points. And Wake Forest is just in a bit of a shamble ever since Sam Hartman left. Look, Sam Hartman leaving Wake Forest, to me, was the start of the downfall of Wake Forest. Look, he's an okay quarterback. He can get you a win, but he's not a quarterback that can get you a championship. He's a quarterback that is a game managing style type of quarterback. You can agree to disagree, or you can disagree to agree, whatever the case may be. Hey, that rhymes. But Sam Hartman leaving Wake Forest was not good, and I knew they would suck after that. And so far this year, they have sucked. Clemson dropped 49 points on Wake Forest, beating them 49-14. Really not much else to discuss on that matter. Stanford also gets their ass beat by Notre Dame. Stanford here's what irritates me about Stanford. They started off acting like not necessarily they could contend for the ACC championship, but I thought Stanford, the way they played Syracuse and beat them, I thought Stanford would be making more noise in the conference. But they're exactly where everybody thought they would be, at the bottom. They got their ass whooped 49-7 by Notre Dame, and I hate Notre Dame. I wish Notre Dame to lose every single game they possibly could. But Notre Dame, ever since they had that weird defeat in the beginning of the season, have been absolutely whooping everybody's ass. Literally. I mean, Notre Dame was like, that ain't happening again. We're pissed off. Let's fix this. Let's fix this shit. And that's exactly what they have done. CJ and AIP are talking about Tennessee and Alabama. That may be a game that I end up talking about later on. What I would like to do, AIP and CJ, is I would like to, I'm already doing it, but I would like to preview and predict games outside of the conference. What I'm going to do starting next week, and I should have already done this, starting next week, I'm going to pick a game from each conference and preview and predict that game and see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. 49-7, Notre Dame whips Stanford, and really not much to talk about either. This is also one of those games I did not watch. I did not watch the previews or the highlights or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. We don't play Stanford this year. Georgia Tech versus UNC. UNC keeps going down the rabbit hole of I suck. Losing to Georgia Tech 41-34. I told North Carolina fans that once Drake May left for the NFL, one, it was going to be Mac Brown's last year as a coach. And two, North Carolina is going to struggle to make a bowl game. People said, oh, you're a Pitt fan. You don't know what you're talking about. Your team went 3-9. First of all, Pitt has nothing to do with the fact that North Carolina sucks. Well, they do this year. The thing is, you guys lost a crap ton of talent, and your problems on the offensive side of the ball are still the same. Your problems on the defensive side of the ball is still the same. You can't cover the pass, and you have a very difficult time being consistent at stopping the run. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Unpleasant nicotine casket. I think I've actually seen you say that, AIP. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, North Carolina, okay, is being carried by Omarion Hampton. If Omarion Hampton was not on the roster, North Carolina probably would not have won a single game so far this season. And I'm willing to bet that if he goes down, North Carolina will not win another game. It's all good, AIP. You don't have to apologize for that. Georgia Tech beats North Carolina 41-34. I actually had Georgia Tech winning this game by double digits. And the fact that they didn't concerns me about Georgia Tech because they lost their quarterback in this game, Hayes King. He is out with an injury, and Zach Pyron, I think that's how you, or Pyron, he's going to be starting for Georgia Tech until King comes back. And I've said to Georgia Tech fans prior, it seems like Hayes King, outside of Malik Rutherford, is your whole entire offense. I think you guys really need to figure out how to run the ball without doing it via quarterback. AIP says, I hope Georgia Tech beats Notre Dame. Let's go, Jackets. I will be talking about that game when I get to the preview and prediction bid. So, moving on, Louisville escapes, and I mean escapes, UVA 24-20. I honestly stayed away from this game as far as the betting side goes. I did watch the highlights of this game, so I do know what happened in the game. And hats off to the Cavaliers, man. Hats off to the Virginia Cavaliers because they are a lot better than what people had them projected as. I projected them to be at the bottom of the conference, but I also said they're not going to be at the bottom of the conference. TALK-IS-PITT, whatever do you mean? Well, I thought they would be a 5-win team towards the bottom of the conference, not at the bottom of the conference. And they're not even near the bottom. To me, they're a decent team within the ACC. Now, they do have one loss. I can't exactly remember who that is to. If somebody in the comment section would actually, I'm done. Right. UVA. What the hell? UVA football. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so they're 4-2 overall with the loss to Louisville, 2-1 in the conference. They took a loss to Maryland in a closer game than what people are giving it credit for. So they took a non-conference loss to Maryland. Doesn't affect their conference standings at all. Maybe the college football playoff picture will definitely be affected now with the loss to Louisville. But I caution Louisville. You're not as good as you think. I don't care what Louisville fans think. I do not think that, I do not think that you guys are as decent of a team as everybody is pointing out to be. I mean, because let's just face it, Louisville, if you guys are talented the way you are putting it out there to be, you should have blown Virginia out by at least 2 scores, which is exactly what I had you doing. Look at that random cat hair floating right there. That's what I had you guys doing, is blowing out Virginia by 2 touchdowns. You escaped Virginia. Escaped. How? If I'm using the word escape when I'm comparing Louisville to Virginia, that's bad, Louisville. Come on now. He said garden. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, moving on from Louisville versus Virginia, and if you're just now getting in, Louisville escaped Virginia 24-20. Syracuse also escapes NC State 24-17. NC State's not a good team either. They're playing with a freshman quarterback who, don't get me wrong, is way better than I thought he would be. But then again, their freshman quarterback is 6'7". He better be able to see over everybody. Syracuse escapes NC State 24-17. I did watch some of this game. Syracuse needs to fix their offensive line. They really do need to fix their offensive line because their offensive line almost cost them this game. And NC State doesn't have a good offense to begin with. So as far as defense goes, Syracuse needs to buckle up because they're coming into Pittsburgh next week for a Thursday game. And trust me, Syracuse, you're in for a fight. You are definitely in for a fight. Kyle McCord, though, is their whole entire offense for Syracuse. And a lot of people disagree with me on this. But Kyle McCord is Syracuse's whole offense. Now, don't get me wrong. They have decent playmakers that they've gotten transfers from Georgia, Ohio State. But the thing is, when you're coming from programs like Georgia and Ohio State, you should be at the top of your production list as far as offensive numbers go, and they're not. They're consistent, but they're not consistent to the point where Syracuse should be undefeated. They should. This game going into the Pitt versus Syracuse game next week on Thursday should be a game of two unbeaten teams. But whatever the case may be, you can agree to disagree with me or whatever the case may be. This is college football. This is why it's fun. Everyone has an opinion. And to be honest, you can make any opinion seem legit. It's all how you word it. I've learned that the hard way. Syracuse escapes NC State 24-17, and Syracuse has a much tougher game coming up next week when they come to Pittsburgh on a Thursday night. Finishing off the review of last week, Pitt also escapes California. They escape California 17-15. And there's a lot about this game that pisses me off. One, Eli Holstein had a very bad game. Two, our defense didn't show out the way it should have. And three, I feel, and this is the most important one, I honestly feel that the coach is held back in this one. It was run, run, run in between the tackles with a 175-pound running back. Look, guys, I'm sorry, you just cannot do that all the time. Teams, all they're going to have to do is stick a nose guard in the middle with the linebacker right next to him, depending on the style of the defense. You're not going to be able to run the ball like that in between the tackles. You need to run it outside. For instance, in that game, Desmond Reed scored on a 74-yard touchdown run on 4th and 2. 74 yards. How did he achieve that? Well, he ran it on the outside. Desmond Reed ran the ball on the outside. Kid, you really need to get your cat hair under control. It's floating everywhere, making me itch. Yeah, I don't like Notre Dame either. I've never liked Notre Dame. Never have liked Notre Dame except Rudy. With all that being said, Desmond Reed is an outside running back, meaning you get him outside of the tackles, he's going to bust a very long run. And it's concerning to me that they keep trying to run him up the middle when that's not the kind of running back he is. If you're going to run the ball up the middle, put Daniel Carter in the game. Because every time he runs up the middle, it's for a first down. Come on, Cade Bell. I love your offensive play calling, but there's a few things you need to work on. But like I said, Pitt escapes California 17-15. A game that should have been a blowout was not a blowout, was a much closer game than anybody anticipated. But nevertheless, Pitt is 6-0 for the first time since 1982. I wasn't even born. I wasn't born until 1989. 35 now. So never in my lifetime has Pitt started 6-0. I don't have a problem. See, this is a comment that hits close to home. He's talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes, I assume. A lot of my friends are Buckeye fans. I have a lot of friends that live in Ohio, and they have said Ohio State fans have become some of the most insufferable people to deal with because nothing is ever good enough for them. And I've said to Ohio State fans before, like, y'all need to shut the hell up. Like, shut up, because teams like me, the Pitt Panthers, fans of the Pittsburgh Panthers, would kill to go 10-2 every single year, even if we didn't make it to the college football playoffs, even if we didn't win the conference. Us going 10-2 every year is a hell of a lot better than what we have had recently at 3-9. Damn, you wasn't born until 1998? He said they lost to the Rubber Duckies. AIP, what year were you born, if you don't mind me asking? You guys can swear here. I don't care. The only thing I ask is try to keep it to a minimum if possible. And if you can't do that, that's fine. But watch how you deliver the swear words. That's the only thing I ask. Damn, you were born in 2003? Holy shit. Damn. Anyway, I would like to see a lot of improvements along the Pitt Panther side of the ball. I do not like how the play calling was during that game. I do think and still believe the coaches held back. But I got to give, there was a better crowd. Excuse me. There was a better crowd at the Pitt and California game than I thought there would be. Honestly, there was a lot bigger crowd there than I thought there would be. There was around 50,000 people there. Now, people can make an argument all they want, West Virginia, Penn State fans, which I will be making a video about West Virginia again. With all that being said, we need to have at least 50,000 people at Acrisure Stadium this coming Thursday when Syracuse comes to town. Now, CJ AIP, if somebody gets personal with you, I give you permission to get personal with them to an extent on my channel, because believe it or not, that could affect me eventually getting monetization or getting this video taken down and me getting a strike. I don't want that. With all that being said, ladies and Gentile men, we are going to go ahead and move on to the week 8 games. We have a couple of games currently going on as we speak. Yo, what up, Sulo? What up, STC? He was born in 1999. Really? You were born in 1999? You look older than that. Please don't take that the wrong way. Boston College at Virginia Tech. This game has already been played, so I am going to talk about it first. Virginia Tech beat the crap out of Boston College. Oh, I'm bald too. Dude, look. It's a fucking roadmap. Anywho, Boston College gets their ass whooped by Virginia Tech. I didn't see this coming. I actually thought Boston College would actually win this game. I did. Ah, you got lots of women in your DMs. I think the score was like 42-21 or something like that. I actually did watch this game. I watched a lot of it. And every time, or should I say, let me backtrack. Virginia Tech was up like 21-0, 28-0 before Boston College poured on 21 unanswered points. And just when you thought Boston College could make a comeback and tie, they turned the ball over by throwing an interception. And from there, it was just lights out Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech just destroyed Boston College. The Mets are killing the Dodgers. I don't watch baseball. It's not that I hate it. I don't. I do not hate baseball. The Pirates have sucked so bad that it's made me not enjoy going or watching baseball anymore. I don't hate the game. I just don't want to watch it. Now, if somebody hands me tickets to a Pirates game, I'm going to go because somebody gave it to me. But you will never see me waste money on tickets for a Pirates game. Anyway, Virginia Tech destroys Boston College. I was wrong about that pick. Florida State is currently playing Duke. You don't watch baseball either? Oh, you're a Cubs fan? It's a lot worse? Holy shit. Holy shit, STC. FSU is currently playing Duke as we speak. I'm going to go ahead and look at the score. All right, so Duke is currently up with 30 seconds left in the first half, 17-6 over the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State, y'all, Florida State is one of those teams that everybody had high expectations for. They thought Florida State was going to win the ACC championship again. They would take their rightful place in the college football playoff, like they should have been last year. Yes, Florida State got robbed, but what Florida State did instead of trying to prove people wrong, they have won one game since their ass whooping by the Georgia Bulldogs in the bowl game, where Georgia just beat the shit out of them. Oh yeah, Florida State needs to fire their coach. It's not even debatable that Mike Norvell needs to go. But Florida State is currently losing to Duke 17-6, and it's hilarious because of the way Florida State fans have treated me, treated everybody else in the college football world, being snobby, saying, oh, you know, we deserve this, we deserve that, so we're going to treat you this bad. We're going to treat you that bad. Like, what did we do to y'all? Miami is going on the road to play Louisville. This could be a trap game for the Hurricanes. It could be, I say. I don't see Louisville having a chance in this game. However, the way Miami has played ever since they have gotten into ACC conference play, they haven't played very well. They haven't played like they have been playing in the first half of the season. First of all, the Virginia Tech game should have never been anywhere near as close as it did. And then California blew a 20-something point lead to lose the game. I think Virginia Tech and California exposed a lot of the weaknesses with the Miami offense and defense as well. I'm still going to pick Miami to win that game. I do think that Miami will wear Louisville out. Oh, excuse me. I do think Miami will wear Louisville out in the second half. Might be a close one in the first half, but Miami, I think, will pull out victorious. Virginia will go on the road to play Clemson. Clemson's going to win that game. To me, there's not really much to harp on in this game. Cade Klubnik is looking sharp. Clemson is looking sharp. Can't wait for the Pitt and Clemson matchup whenever Clemson comes to town mid-November. I think the game's November 16th. He hates West Virginia too, CJ. He really hates West Virginia. Wake Forest at UConn. What the fuck is this? Excuse my language. Wake Forest at UConn this late in the season? Why can't Pitt get games like this in this late in the season or towards the end of the season? Right, Kitty? See? And he's a cat who's orange and white. Are you a Clemson fan? Now he's exercising his right to remain kitty. With all that being said, Wake Forest will go on the road to play UConn. I'm going to take Wake Forest to win this game, but not by much. Not by much. This could be an upset that nobody sees coming. Well, people do see UConn upsetting Wake Forest. When I was on Pigskin Pete's podcast the other day, they were talking about this game, and they have the same, like, what the fucks that I do. Like, why is Wake Forest traveling to UConn this late in the season? Sulo says, I hate Northern Illinois, Florida State, LSU, Alabama, Mississippi State, Indiana, Michigan, and a few others. The only teams that I truly hate are Penn State and West Virginia. Now, I get along with a lot of West Virginia fans because, I mean, I have a lot of family that are West Virginia fans. I have a lot of friends that are West Virginia fans. I have maybe like 2 people I interact with on an acquaintance type of level that are Penn State fans. The rest are just flat out fucking stupid. Some of them still dick ride Joe Paterno. A lot of people think Jerry Sandusky is innocent. Fred Snurd mainly. And let me say this. If you think Jerry Sandusky is innocent, you're a pedophile. Back to the games at hand. Wake Forest at UConn. Exactly, CJ. Innocent my ass. Wake Forest should win this game, but don't count out the Huskies to upset Wake Forest. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Wake Forest. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. I really, really, really want to pick Georgia Tech in this game. I really do. Logically, I just can't. Not saying it isn't possible, because outside of Wake Forest at UConn, this Notre Dame and Georgia Tech game, I think, has more of an upset alert put to it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Exactly, STC. I do think Notre Dame is going to win this game. I think it's going to be close up until the 4th quarter, and that's when Notre Dame, I don't want to say piles it on, but that's when Notre Dame actually starts to be like, okay, let's put on the brakes to Georgia Tech, stop them, and let's take off the brakes and keep piling as much points on as possible. I don't know how this game is going to turn out. I just think logically Notre Dame is going to win. I do apologize for the sound of running water in the background. There's really nothing I can do. NC State at California. This is a team the Pittsburgh Panthers just played. And because of how close Pitt played not North Carolina, because of how close the Panthers played the Golden Bears, I actually have California winning this game over NC State. I do not think NC State will win this game. I do think California's defense will be too much, because let's face it, y'all, California has a very good defense. A lot better defense than what people are going to give them credit for. Their offense is the problem. Mainly their offensive line. Pitt got 6.5 sacks against California. Cal, I think, will come out victorious in the game against NC State. But we'll see. The last game on the schedule, SMU at Stanford. This is a game SMU should win by double digits, probably more. And I think they will. I'm not sure if it's going to be a lot of points scored, but I do think SMU is going to win by more than a touchdown. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Stanford has been disappointing ever since the Syracuse game, but let's be honest about SMU. They barely beat Nevada, and I mean barely beat Nevada. And the thing about SMU is, even though they're doing well, they have a lot of flaws on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Can I help you, Kitty? I think if Stanford wants to win that game, they're going to have to exploit the weaknesses of SMU on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, exactly, STC. They were only relevant with Andrew Luck. With that being said, if Stanford wants to win this game, they're going to have to exploit whatever weaknesses that that SMU presents. That doesn't mean I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to pick SMU to win this game, not by much. Even though I think they should win by double digits. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That wraps up kind of the ACC recap / preview and prediction show. It's boring, the fact that there's no college football game for Pitt this weekend, which means I'm stuck watching other college football games, which is fun because me doing what I do, I'm going to have to watch a few games here and there that have nothing to do with my team. Shut up. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go ahead and end the live stream right here. I would like to thank everybody who has stopped by on the live stream. Carolina Jackpot, STC, AIP, CJ. My most loyal subscribers are always here. AIP, CJ, always here on the channel, showing love and support. Much appreciated, you guys. Much appreciate you guys being on my channel. TALK-IS-PITT, are you going to watch the Georgia and Texas game? I don't know. AIP. CJ says Rec Talk will be on soon. STC is always here whenever he sees the notification. I appreciate that. STC. Appreciate everybody who stops by on my live streams, my videos, whatever the case may be. I'm going to start working on another video here soon, right after this live stream ends. I'm going to be trolling West Virginia because there's so much in meltdown mode that the student body, or should I say the fan base, not the student body, the fan base literally paid for somebody to fly an airplane with a banner attached to it that says "Fire Neil Brown." They have literally raised enough money to do that. I think that's fucking hilarious that you guys are willing to stoop to a level of pettiness that I have never seen. You've stooped to a level of pettiness that's so far up here that you guys wasted your money to have a banner being flown over your stadium because you want your coach fired. Oh, you have 2 accounts on YouTube, CJ? I think you told me that before. So I'm going to be making a video about that. Mountaineer Paul will probably say I'm taking it too far because Pat Narduzzi, for you guys who don't know, Pat Narduzzi trolled Neil Brown on Twitter because during a press conference last week, Mike Asti of West Virginia Sports Now, who I call him Mike Asshat because I don't like him. He used to talk about Pitt. Now he strictly does West Virginia, and he's gotten even worse. Mike Asti asked Neil Brown, why should fans show up at the game next week? And Neil Brown's response was, I have it wrote down. I have it wrote down. Where is it? Huh. I know for a fact I wrote that shit down. But anywho, Neil Brown's response was, I get everybody wants to win. But did you have a good time at the game? Did you have a good time tailgating? Because I'm pretty sure those people did. That was his response. And even West Virginia fans trolled him all over the internet to the point where even Pat Narduzzi himself got in on the action because Neil Brown referenced the weather and having a good time. Pat Narduzzi said, did we have a good time during the bye week? Yes. Was the weather nice? Yes. And he just absolutely trolled Neil Brown. And then Mountaineer Paul said that was over the top. It was disrespectful. It wasn't classy to troll a coach who's on his way out the door. Here's the thing, Mountaineer Paul. I'm going to tell you 2 things. One, grow some balls. Stop being so fucking sensitive, dude. Because if it was the other way around, I'd expect West Virginia fans to do the same thing. If I can dish it, I can take it. I expect you to treat me the same way I treat you. Hell, even Fred Snurd, that fucking middle-aged, fat, chubby motherfucker whose wife looks uglier than the turds that come out of my ass. I expect him to treat me the same exact way I treat him, because I don't treat him nice, because he's a piece of shit, and so am I. With all that being said, Mountaineer Paul, here's the second thing I'm going to talk to you about. Brother, nobody gives a fuck that you're 5 years clean and sober. Bro, no one cares. For instance, I am 100% on board with somebody beating their addiction, whether it's to drugs or alcohol. But the fact that you keep telling everybody that every single fucking day, it's annoying. To be honest, it's almost seeming like you're not sober for how much you're talking about it. Brother, if you are true about your addiction, don't post about it every single day. Just do it. Oh, well, I'm not a soft there I go, stuttering. I'm not a soft football fan. I'm 5 years clean and sober. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Mountaineer Paul, I respect you for being 5 years clean and sober, but I also don't respect you the fact that you keep shoving it down everybody else's face. More power to you, Mountaineer Paul, for being sober. But dude, shut the fuck up. Please. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got STC, we got AIP, we got CJ up in the house. I'd like to thank all of you guys for stopping by, but I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream right here. It's been a pleasure doing these videos with you guys. I try to post one video every week. I don't have the time to post videos every single day. With me being a supervisor at my current job, I'm either always getting called in or I just have too much to do that day. And I do apologize. I do work overnight. I don't have to work tonight, which is the only reason why I'm live streaming right now. Do have to work tomorrow night. I appreciate everybody who stops by on my live stream, whether it's to troll me, support me, whatever the case may be. Much love, everybody. I forgot to copy the Cash App link. If anybody wants to donate to my donation system, my Cash App link will be in the description once this video fully uploads. Also, check out the previous video of mine where my Cash App link is in the description. If you would like to send your donations to my Cash App, that would be cool. If not, hey, no biggie. I'm not doing this to be paid right now. All right, AIP, I do appreciate it. He says TALK-IS-PITT is one of his favorite YouTubers. Hey, I appreciate that somebody likes me as a YouTuber. But with that being said, much love, everybody. Hopefully your team does well this weekend. And I will see you guys back here in a couple of days. Let's go, Pitt. Let's go, Pitt. Let's go, Pitt. We, not me.